Hello, my name is Bianca, and today I'm going to talk all about pasta. So, pasta is one of the world's most accessible and favorite foods. It is liked by adults and children. The word pasta generally describes Italian noodles, but pasta is much more than that. Pasta is a healthy, easy, and affordable way to eat car- complex carbohydrates of pasta because all of its history, but there are different theories that can show us a little bit of it. So, one of the theories is the one that says that Marco Polo brought the idea of pasta to Italy after one of his trips to China when he tried pasta as dumplings. But even though it's the most famous, it's not the most accurate version. There's another one that says that in Sicily they used to make something called lasagna that made reference to a modern day lasagna. And then after that, Arab invasions in the 8th century brought the dried noodle type pasta. Now I'm going to show you a really brief video about pasta history.
Pasta, so rich, so steamy, so seductive. But listen, before I get too hot under the colander, let's get one thing straight. Pasta is old. Like super old. Like super, super old. Well, maybe not that old, but really, where did this stuff come from? Let's find out together in The Secret History of Pasta. The most common origin story claims pasta was brought to Italy from the east by the explorer Marco Polo. I got some bad news. It's not true. Sorry, pal. It is true a dumpling like pasta existed in China as early as 1700 BCE, but other forms of pasta existed in Italy before Marco Polo ever left, like a baked, doughy pasta called lagane, an ancestor to lasagna. So, much like a bowl of delicious angel hair, the ancient world is a seemingly endless tangle of competing pasta threads. But if we slurp our way to the bottom, what's the real pasta predecessor? The answer takes us to the 5th century, where merchants from the Arab world brought dried noodles known as itria, packed for long journeys across the Silk Road, bringing pasta to Sicily centuries before Marco Polo. But once pasta was here, what did Italians bring to the table? What was their special sauce? The sauce. Up until this point, pasta was eaten plain or even as a paste. Italy also invented mass pasta production, including the creation of the first pasta machines. But if you think the story's over, there's one little detail left. At the time, even the wealthiest, most aristocratic members of society ate pasta like this. Yeah, with their bare hands. And with tomato sauce on the horizon, you can just imagine. But thankfully, there was a hero waiting in the shadows. Forks had never been big in Italy, but this was a match made in heaven. So if you love chowing down on spaghetti, it might be better to thank your fork rather than Marco Polo. It took an awfully long time to become what it is today, but there's plenty to go around. Just hey, hands off that last meatball, okay? Now it's mine.
So that was a really interesting story because also now we know that they were not used to eat pasta with forks, first of all. And then when forks were invented, it was so much more easy to eat pasta. So now I'm going to show you. Um, so there are different types of pasta around the globe. The one we know the most is Italian pasta that we usually eat as spaghetti, tagliatelle, even the big flat sheets of lasagna are made of the regular Italian pasta recipe, but there are also other types of pasta as the Asian noodles and the orzo pasta from Greek. So now I'm gonna show you a really short video, at least the most important parts of the video, so you can know more about pasta types.
Cuisines and noodles, but a particularly popular noodle dish is jjajangmyeon. The name translates to fried sauce noodles. Wheat noodles are mixed with a sauce made by stir-frying ground pork or beef with fermented soybean paste. It's usually served with fresh or pickled vegetables. Italy has hundreds of pasta dishes, but one of its ancient classics is cacio e pepe. It means cheese and pepper. Legend has it that in Roman times, shepherds would take their sheep to graze in the mountains. The shepherds would bring homemade pasta with them and cook it, then combine it with the cheese they made out of the milk they collected from their sheep. The dish consists of black pepper, grated pecorino romano cheese, and spaghetti. It's simple but delicious. Home to the largest bowl of sukumen in New York City and other traditional ramen dishes. I'm able to enjoy this bowl of ramen because of years of rich history. Chinese immigrants introduced ramen to Japan in the late 19th century. It became popular after World War II, when Japan was struggling and many of its citizens had to rely on black markets for food. With a food shortage, including a drastic reduction in rice, the US was importing large amounts of wheat into Japan. Vendors used this wheat to make ramen, but during this time, it was illegal to buy or sell restaurant food. The United States had upheld Japan's ration control laws during their occupation, so thousands of ramen vendors were arrested. By 1950, the government relaxed these restrictions and ramen vendors rose in popularity. Today, ramen isn't the simple dish it once was, but its history is the reason it's enjoyed by thousands of people every day. Criolla comes from Peru but changes with the region. It's typically homemade and the basics usually include meat, onion, garlic, ají panca, tomato, egg, milk, and angel hair noodles. The background for the dish is thought to be influenced by a mix of Peru's cultures. Tabetomo brews their ramen broth for 60 hours in-house. But if you don't have that kind of time, you might be familiar with instant ramen. It's quick, easy to make, and great on a tight budget. One popular brand of instant ramen is called
Okay, but how did pasta go through the world? So, pasta made its way to the New World thank, thanks to the English, who discovered it through touring Italy. And then when they came to America, they taught us the English practice of pasta, which was cooking the pasta for 1/2 hour, then adding cream, sauce, and cheese. Also, another thing that really helped to pasta to go through the world was when the president of the USA at its time was credited by bringing the first macaroni machine to America in 1787. Tim Lang, a professor of food policy at the City University London, says that technological advances in the 19th century really helped pasta to produce in big scale. But when pasta really took off was in the 20th century after the Italian immigration to the New World, when pasta was known as an Italian national dish. Thanks to the low speed production of pasta, it began to spread out of Naples and into the rest of the world. So, where can we eat really good pasta? So, these are some of the places where we can try really good pasta dishes. One of them is Armando, where you can try a traditional spaghetti alla carbonara. Then we have Tandem Ragu in Naples, where you can try the signature Napolitan ragu with gnocchi, spaghetti, tagliatelle, or however you would like it. Then a really nice restaurant is Manteca London, which is known for its fresh pasta. Another really good restaurant to eat pasta is Racines in Paris, which they are in which their menu is in constant change because they flow with the seasons. Their menu comes their menu depends on the produce of available ingredients. And last but not least is Tulsa in Tokyo, Japan. It It is not a surprise that you can try the best ramen in its birthplace, right? So this place is really high up in the Michelin's guide when you go look up for the best ramen soup. Now I'm gonna show you some of the best chefs of pasta. But who are the best chefs to prepare pasta? Well, even though there are a lot of good chefs around the world that have really good pasta recipes and really good techniques, these are some of the most emblematic chefs. One of them is Massimo Bottura. He is an Italian chef that owns a restaurant called Osteria Francescana with 3 Michelin stars, and he's also been listed in on the top 5 of the world's 50 best restaurants since 2010. He and his wife founded Food and Soul. This is a non-profit organization conceived to build culture, way to empowering communities and advocating for healthy and equivalent food systems. So then we have Antonio Carluccio. He's an Italian chef and food expert based in London with more of 50 years of experience. He was called the Italian he was called the grandfather of the Italian gastronomy. He was really famous and has written a lot of books and was in a lot of TV shows. But also he won an award of an AA Lifetime Achievement Award that recognizes professionals within the hospitality industry who have committed their lives to this discipline. It is definitely one of the things that has contributed to its success. It's easy to transport and has long shelf life. It has commercial genes, says John Dickey, a professor in Italian studies at University College London and author of Delicia. I think this is a really good phrase to highlight because pasta helped many people during hunger. So, what are the best pasta dishes? There are a lot of really good pasta dishes, but these are the most emblematic. The first one is carbonara, that is prepared by tossing spaghetti with guanciale, egg yolks, and pecorino romano cheese, and it was definitely one of Rome's favorite. So number two is lasagna alla bolognese. This is a one dish meal. It's traditionally made from with layers of fresh pasta with bechamel and ragu. Number three is tagliatelle alla bolognese. This one is originally from Bologna. It has key ingredients as beef or pork for the ragu, tomatoes, and tagliatelle. Even though in Peru we might know it with spaghetti, in Bologna you will never try it with spaghetti. It is always served with tagliatelle. Number four is cacio e pepe, which is a really important and emblematic dish for the Italians. This one has really little ingredients such as pasta, cheese, uh, pecorino romano cheese, salt, and lots of ground pepper. This one was really important for the Romano shepherds because the ground pepper helped them from the cold at nights, and the carbo carbohydrates of pasta help them to walk all the way back. So last but not least is tortelli, or as we might know it, ravioli. The most famous dish of this variety pasta is called tortelli con zucca, which is filled with pumpkin, crushed cookies, and Parmesan cheese. So how are pasta nowadays? Pasta has evolved with time, and now we can find many types of pasta. One of them is gluten free, which is really important for celiac people who can eat durum wheat. Then we have a pasta that appeals the health conscious because instead of using regular sauce with cream or olive oil of butter or any type of fat, they replace sauce with low fat cheese and a lot of vegetables. Then we have the vegetables that look like pasta, like carrots, zucchini, um, cucumber, and others that are cut with the spaghetti shape. And last but not least, because we know we're gonna have more types of pasta during time, is the instant noodle soup. This one is really important for all the ones that don't have a lot of time to prepare a really good pasta, but want something fast and nice. So some fun facts are that in 1848 was built the first industry of pasta factory. In 1939, Kraft introduced macaroni and cheese to the US diner. Well, Italy is still the first per person place that eats more pasta, but after that it's Venezuela, Iran, and even if you don't believe it, Peru. The most famous Italian way to eat pasta is called pomodoro. And also, dried pasta became popular in the 14th and 15th century because it was easy to store. Thank you. I hope you liked my presentation on all the pasta history. Bye.